The sound of tearing fabric cut through the crowded high school hallway like a gunshot. It wasn't just cloth, it was the sound of a world ripping apart. One moment, Lily Morgan was invisible, the new girl trying to melt into the lockers. The next, she was standing in the center of a frozen circle of students, the pale blue dress her grandmother had given her hanging in tatters from her shoulder, her eyes wide with a shock so profound it didn't even look like pain. Yet, and standing before her, holding a ragged scrap of that delicate fabric, was Tyler Vance, the star of the football team, his grin a perfect monument to cruelty. He opened his mouth to deliver the punchline, to cement her humiliation into legend. But he never got the chance. Because everyone, including Tyler, felt him before they saw him. A presence, cold and immovable as a mountain range, had entered the hallway. All the air was sucked toward it. Tyler turned, the grin still etched on his face, and looked directly into the eyes of a man whose silence was louder than any scream. A Navy SEAL, and the story everyone thought they were in, the easy, ugly story of a shy girl's destruction, was over before it even began. Subscribe to this channel, and join me as we step into a hallway where a single, unforgivable act changed the course of countless lives. This is a story about hidden strength, the price of cruelty, and the moment a predator becomes the prey. Lily Morgan's life had been a series of goodbyes. Her father's deployments were the backdrop of her childhood, a rhythm of absence and homecomings that left her mother perpetually tired and Lily perpetually quiet. She learned to fold into herself, to make her presence small and manageable, a skill that served her well each time they had to move. Norfolk, San Diego, Jacksonville, following the fleet. This latest move, to the solid, landlocked heart of a small town in Ohio, was meant to be permanent. Her father was finally home for good. The frayed canvas duffel bags were retired to the attic. The furniture, for the first time, felt like it belonged in the rooms it occupied. Lincoln High, with its red brick and aging mascot, was supposed to be the final stop. Lily approached it like she approached everything new, with observational silence. She took notes on the social ecosystem from the periphery. The royalty was easy to identify. At the top, gleaming with the untouchable confidence of someone who has never truly been told no, was Tyler Vance. Quarterback. Homecoming king presumptive. His domain was the main hallway, and he held court there between classes, surrounded by a laughing, jostling retinue of players and admirers. Lily's first-day strategy was simple: keep her head down, navigate the edges, and survive. She wore the blue dress, a soft, vintage cotton piece her grandmother had sent. "For your fresh start, my brave girl," the note had said. The dress felt like a talisman, a whisper of kindness in the impersonal chaos. For 2 weeks, the strategy worked. She was a ghost, a polite smile in the back row, a swift mover in the halls. But to a predator like Tyler Vance, such careful invisibility is itself a signal. It reads as weakness. It invites investigation. His attention first landed on her in chemistry, where she'd correctly answered a question he'd mumbled through. His gaze, a mix of annoyance and curiosity, lingered. The next day, a stray football bumped into her backpack, sending her books flying. His apology was a performative drawl, his friends snickering behind him. Lily had just knelt, gathered her things, and walked away without a word. That, she would later realize, was her mistake. To Tyler, silence wasn't dignity, it was a challenge. It was fuel. The incident in the hallway was planned, she would learn. A spectacle. It was a Tuesday, just after the second period bell. The hallway was at peak capacity, a river of denim, backpacks, and shouted conversations. Lily was almost to her English class when she felt a hand on her shoulder, not guiding, but stopping. She turned. Tyler Vance stood there, his smile not reaching his eyes. 2 of his linemen flanked him, human bookends. "Hey, new girl," Tyler said, his voice carrying. "That's a cute dress." The pause was deliberate, poisonous. A few students slowed, sensing theater. "Where'd you get it?" "Grandma's attic." Laughter bubbled from his crew. Lily felt a familiar coldness settle in her stomach. The deployment time coldness. The news of an injury coldness. She went very still. "I'm going to be late," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Oh, we'll be quick," Tyler promised, his fingers still on her shoulder. "I just had a question. See, we have a bet, me and the guys. We think that dress would look better in pieces." The laughter died, replaced by a sharp, anticipatory silence. This was new territory. This was live ammunition. Lily tried to step back, but the lineman had subtly closed the space behind her. Please, she said. The word was a mistake. It lit him up. Please. Tyler echoed, laughing. You heard her, boys. She's asking for it. He didn't punch. He didn't shove. His move was one of exquisite, intimate humiliation. He grabbed the dress's delicate collar in one fist and the sleeve at her shoulder with the other. He looked her right in the eye, his expression one of pure, exhilarating power. Then he wrenched his hands apart. The rip was obscenely loud. The cotton, old and loved, gave way with a sigh that was lost in the gasp of the crowd. The dress tore clean from the collar down past her shoulder, exposing the strap of her camisole in a long line of pale skin. A jagged flap of fabric hung down. Lily didn't scream. She brought her arms up, crossing them over her chest, holding the ruined dress together as best she could. Her face drained of all color, her eyes locking onto Tyler's, and in them was not tears, not yet, but a depth of shock so absolute it was like staring into a void. Tyler held up the scrap he'd torn free, a blue flag of victory. He waved it, turning to his audience, ready to bask. This was his peak. This was the moment he would own the school. He opened his mouth, the quip about vintage fashion already on his lips, but the words died. The triumph in his eyes flickered, then drained away, replaced by a primal, formless confusion. The roaring hallway had gone deathly quiet. Not the quiet of awe for him, but the quiet of a forest when a top predator enters the clearing. Every instinct in Tyler's body, every synapse wired for social dominance, suddenly screamed of a different, more dangerous hierarchy. He slowly turned, following the gaze of the paralyzed students. At the far end of the hallway, near the main office door, a man had stopped walking. He was not tall in a way that would draw attention on a basketball court, but he was built in a way that seemed to warp the space around him. Broad shoulders under a simple black tactical style sweater, posture so straight it looked like a structural support. His hair was clipped short, his face was clean, shaven and weathered, etched with lines that spoke of squinting into sun and salt spray. He held a visitor's badge loosely in one hand. But it was his eyes that silenced the world. They were fixed on the scene, on Tyler, on the scrap of fabric, on Lily holding herself together. They were the color of a winter sea, and they held no anger, no yelling, no theatrics. They held a simple, terrifying assessment. This was Chief Petty Officer James Morgan, Lily's father. He was here for a scheduled meeting about his GI Bill benefits, a meeting meant to pave the way for his own new beginning. He had just seen his daughter's beginning ripped apart. For a 7-second eternity, no one moved.